This gentleman has been appointed by our corporate office to be the network marketing president for the state of Arizona. In other words, they've said, hey, listen, we need someone that knows how to do this job and will inspire people to do this job and knows 100% of the facts to train them on how to do this job. This gentleman has also been our MC at corporate events. We know him as just HB, but stand on your feet and give it up for Mr. Harold Grant.
Good morning, everyone. How you doing?
Great.
Before we get started, I have to say thank you. Share my appreciation for this guy. You know, when I started the business 15 years ago, I've been involved in the industry. And you see people from afar, especially when you're in different states. You only see them at conferences and things like that. And then over the years, you start to sit in one of their trainings or one of their presentations. And eventually, you start to become friends and build friendships. And then you start to build new experiences together. I got some new experiences. You know him. You know. He's introduced me to some things I never imagined in my life. But Mr. Hall, and you talk about being able to enjoy living life. And that's the whole point, right? If you're successful but not enjoying it, what's the point? That man can show you how to enjoy life yourself. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Give it up for And so, as I said, I've been in the business about 15 years. But because I'm older than 15, I guess I had a life before that. So let me tell you about that. My background is poetry. I'm a poet. I'm a writer, artist. I was a starving artist for a really long time. And I learned the hard way that poetry doesn't pay you well until you die. Once you die, you blow up, though. I didn't want to wait that long to pay my bills. I think that's understandable. And so I had to find a way to make some money. Now, my other passion is working with young people in tough situations. I grew up in tough situations and found my way out of it. So I wanted to help young people figure those things out as well. Just be there for them. And I did that for a long time. I continue to do that to this day, both of those things. And I found myself as a mentor behavioral health counselor. Right? And enjoyed that, did that for some years. The challenge was I was working about 70, 80 hours a week. Now, when you work mental health counseling 70 hours a week, eventually you need. You know where I'm going with it. So I was frustrated. I was very frustrated. And if you ever worked in social services, then you know it only pays about that much better than poetry, right? So it's not really putting you in front of your bills at all. You're making just enough to survive. You're making just enough to be broke but not homeless. You know what I mean? Like right in that middle space. If you miss a check, then you will fall by the wayside. And that's where I was. So I was working so hard, but I still can't even go to the movies when I want to. I can't enjoy myself. Hard to do much of anything. And I knew I wanted to start a family eventually. So I said, you know what? So I have to find a way to make money, but my integrity is important to me. I do not want to compromise. I always thought you had to compromise your integrity to make a lot of money. Because that's what I saw. How many of you ever knew someone that was wealthy? How many of you did not like the person that you knew that was, you know what I mean? They just wasn't nice people all the time. And I didn't want to compromise. I didn't want to hurt other people in order to earn income. I wanted to be able to look myself in the mirror, be able to go to bed at night, but be able to wake up in a house that's paid for. You know what I mean? And so, but those things seemed like they were contradictory terms until I met a gentleman that told me about LegalShield. I was actually flying from Chicago. That's where I'm from originally. And I was flying from Chicago to Arizona to shoot a pilot for a TV show. Because when you're a starving artist, you just do all parts, right? You don't turn anything down. They be like, do you act? Yeah. Does it pay? Are you a painter? Today? Today, right? So you just take all the gigs you can get. So I'm flying to Arizona to shoot a pilot for a TV show, and the gentleman sat next to me and told me about LegalShield, and it made so much sense. But the part that really stood out to me was the traffic aspect of it, right? I was 25 years old. So I said, you know what? Sign me up. He said, we also make money with this program. I said, that's amazing. I want to learn how to do that. This gentleman was already making a strong six-figure income part-time from home in 2003 and had done it for several years. He already had the degree and the job I would have wanted. He was making $80,000 a year at his job as a deputy chief probation officer in Lake County, Indiana. Actually, he was the first black deputy chief probation officer to ever hold that position in all of Indiana. So that was very impressive to me. But he walked away from what I would have thought was the end game to do LegalShield. I said, it must be something here. This guy's smarter than me. He chose it. So let me take a good look as a whole. I got involved, and it's been a beautiful journey ever since. 15 years, I'm still looking for the problem. I'm still here. You know what I mean? So now we're going to dive into the program itself, let you know how that works, what's going on there. Probably tell you more of my story as we go on, because it's not about the money, but about what I was able to do with the time freedom and the extra income when it comes to being a father. That's really what I'm most proud of. And that eventually happened. And so, I know, right? It went sideways if the date went wrong, right? You know? So, let's talk about our program a little bit. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Now, when you're looking at a company and looking at anything, right now, in these days, businesses have changed. We were just talking about social media, right? And the effect that it's had on employment. And, you know, hey, my life is separate. Not anymore. You put it on social media, you choose a job, depending on how you're behaving out here, right? And so you talk about simple, disruptive, and noble, very important aspects. It can't easily be duplicated. And these days, you have to have an app. How many of you have an app on your phone you don't even use? I got a ton of them. I'm going to tell you about some of my new games I got, though. They're pretty awesome. Right? Now, taxi cab. How we used to do things, how we currently do things. Used to and current. Things change. And if you don't change as the surrounding environment change, you become extinct along with that thing that you're holding attachment to. Right? I'm not that attached to cabs, I can't move forward. I never wanted to do Uber. I didn't think it was a good idea. People said, you can call up and somebody come pick you up. I said, a stranger. A random person? I don't get in the car with people I don't know. It sounds like a setup. I'm from Chicago. Then eventually I tried it. It worked perfectly. Now if I go Uber to the kitchen and make a sandwich, I would do it. I prefer Lyft myself, but you get my point. You get my point. Blockbuster Video. I used to love Blockbuster Video. Used to love on Friday night, everybody pick their own little VHS tape, right? If you were really back in the day, a Betamax, whatever. But it was a whole experience, but it also took all day long. I probably enjoyed it because I was a child and I didn't have anything going on Friday night. But now we can sit at home, because that's how we used to do things. This is how we currently do things. We could just download it. I watch things on my phone when I travel. I don't even have to lose my place. It's pretty amazing how this works. How we used to, how we currently, hotels. Knowing that when you travel, you have to stay in a hotel, that's the old way of doing things. Because I could save a whole lot of money and stay in somebody's home. Once again, weird. Very weird. I don't know these people. How do I know? They're not waiting in the shadows as soon as I go to sleep. I watch a lot of horror movies, you know what I mean? They're like Hostel or something. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm standing, and what's weird, people staying in my home. I don't know what they're leaving behind, right? I don't know what's going on, but guess what? This is challenging the way hotels move and maneuver. It's adjusting the entire market space. Books. Do anybody remember these, right? It's just amazing because so many people now just order their things on Amazon, which I argue is Skynet. Mark my words, Amazon is Skynet. If you don't remember what Skynet is, watch the Terminator again. Don't trust Amazon. But yeah, we are. I'm skeptical of anything that I order and it shows up before I finish ordering. Did you send a drone to drop off toothpaste? This is weird. I don't know how I feel about this level of convenience. Cameras. Things have changed. I argue they didn't change with Instagram. They changed with camera phones. It was camera phones that changed this entire thing. And now that cameras are available to everybody, did you see? We have a huge influx of models all around the world. Because it doesn't cost anything to get that shots. You right? Things have changed. The legal profession needs a change. It is expensive, unresponsive, and unaccountable. That's what LegalShield has been able to solve, and that's what we've been able to do. And we've been able to do that for the last 46 years, as we were talking about this earlier. This is our amazing founder. This gentleman is a superstar. So many people don't know his story. School teacher sold insurance on the weekend, was driving down a lonely Oklahoma road when someone hopped the median, right, went across the line, going in the other direction and hit him head on. That is the actual car of the accident. This is 1969. What were cars made of then? Oh man, so the car did this, that was a bad accident. Put him in the hospital, didn't know if he was going to live. He had health insurance, he had car insurance, even had life insurance in case he didn't walk away. Never assumed he needed a legal insurance. Because the lady found out that he sold insurance on the weekend and had a few tickets. But she also had some money under her belt. And because she had some money, she hired a lawyer before he could. Hired a lawyer and sued him for an incident that she caused. He defended himself and he won, but did he really win? He almost bankrupted his family, spent almost a year of his own salary to fight this. He won, but he was out of a year of income. He said there has to be something in place, like an insurance for lawyers like I have for doctors. It didn't exist. He did more research. The concept existed in Europe. He said, I'm bringing that concept back to the United States. We need this. And that's how LegalShield was started. The accident was 1969. Our company started in 1972, just 3 years later. This genius put this thing in place. How many of you have ever been in a car accident before? Okay, me too. How many of you ever started a multi-million-dollar company because of your car accident? Nobody? Okay, he deserves a round of applause. And now we're protecting over 4.6 million lives, dedicated network of attorneys all across the United States and Canada, with all the third-party documentation that you can imagine. And a lot of people say, lawyers, I don't need a lawyer, I never get in trouble. If you ever signed a contract or a document, been overcharged, treated unfairly, landlord-tenant issues, received a traffic ticket, needed your will in place, been a victim of identity theft, been concerned about your child's identity, been born, may die, ever fell in love, ever fell out of love. These are all legal situations. Is that a fair statement? You just have to live life, and it's a legal situation. So this can help us maneuver those legal situations that I am referring to. Now, we have an app on our phone. This is a newer aspect that has really exploded our program. It's because it's extremely convenient. Through tapping my smartphone just a couple times, I can get an attorney, call them. They call them, let the people know what I need assistance with, the customer service rep, and then they have the proper attorney call me back and talk to me about whatever my issue is. Why is this important? Because I'm not calling a lawyer, I'm calling a network of law firms. That's the difference. That's the difference. Now, if my cousin's a lawyer, I can just call him directly. But my cousin can only do so much. He represents one area of law, probably in one state. And I don't know how good he is, he's just my cousin. Right? But the fact of the matter is, a network of attorneys, then I get the best of the best, and I get the one that specializes in my area of law in whatever state I'm dealing with my situation in. It's really incomparable. It's amazing how this program works. Let me tell you exactly what we do. First and foremost, you get phone consultation on an unlimited number of issues. Call the law firm 10 times a month, 10 times a week, 10 times a day, get advice on whatever you need advice on. How much is good advice worth? Priceless. How much has bad advice cost you in the past? Don't even want to think about it, you know what I mean? It's pretty bad. So just getting the right information in a timely manner, that's extremely important, because a lot of times time is everything. Timing is everything, and now if you do just that, they'll give you a call back within 8 business days for local matters, which is pretty incredible there. I just have so many stories of how advice has been able to help people out. From the parents who had a kid that was being bullied at school, that wanted to leave the school. Eventually they called the law firm after getting nowhere with the school, trying to help their child with this bullying. The attorney talked to the parents for 10 minutes, talked to the young girl for 45 minutes. 12-year-old girl on the phone with her attorney, talking about being bullied at school. Empowered the young girl who was being demoralized on a daily basis. She went back to school the next day, said, my attorney told me to tell you that same day. Oh, here's the best part of the story. The same day, everything was pulled offline because bullying pushes kids to do horrible things to themselves these days. Because you can't get away from, back in the day, if you got bullied at school, you're still okay in your neighborhood. Because they were separated. Now, the bullying follows kids all around. They can't even escape from it. So it's overwhelming to their little spirits, right? Went to school, told the principal that same day, everything was pulled offline, and over that weekend, they got 40 phone calls from other parents apologizing for their kids' bad behavior. Not only did it get rectified, but can you imagine how empowered this young lady, eventually a woman, is going to be, knowing that she has that kind of power to not be saved, but to save herself. Nice. That's strong. This is one of the many stories of advice advice, being in the right place at the right time. Letters and phone calls made on your behalf. I love this area. I use it most often because I don't like to be taken advantage of, but I also don't like to argue. I'm a poet. I get sensitive about stuff. Even if I win an argument, my whole day is messed up. My vibe is off. You know what I mean? I don't want to do all that. I pay people to argue for me. That's how I keep my blood pressure down. Right? I've used this on so many occasions, but the first time it really sunk in and this was powerful. I bought some tickets with online travel service. I wanted to get a vacation, and it was my first time ever trying to do that myself, so I did it online. And they said everything was fine, but eventually they said my card didn't clear. I said, no problem, I'll get it fixed tomorrow when the bank's on. The next day my account was negative $1,000. Took my money, gave me no reservations. Is that a problem?
Yes.
I said, I need you to put the money back. I'm a reasonable person. Put the money back in my account, pay these $90 in overdraft fees, no harm, no foul. We'll try it again later. Right? They said, sorry, sir, our mistake, you did nothing wrong. That's a good start. But then they said, but it's against our policy to pay your overdraft fees, and it's going to take 7 to 14 business days to put the money back in your account. Whoa. I don't have 7 to 14 days. It didn't take 7 to 14 business days to take the money out of my account. I know you know where the bank is. You were there last night. Just right? It's a really simple solution as far as I'm concerned. But they couldn't do it. They told me the same thing, had me online, on hold for 30 minutes at a time, listening to Barry Manilow, right? It just wasn't a pleasant experience for me. I said, you know what? You're going to hear from my attorney. That's the first time I ever said you're going to hear from my attorney. It really had an attorney, right? I've told that lie before, like many of us in this room. And why do we do that? We make jokes about attorneys, but we know when it hits the fan, they get things done. They can make it happen. And this is the time I had when I called my attorney got angry with me. It was awesome. He wrote a letter. The letter was so scary, I wanted to write myself a check for $1,000. We sent it in. The next day, the same company that couldn't do anything paid all my overdraft fees, paid the money that they owed me, and gave me an extra $300 just so I could call my pit bull law firms off. Family, I walked around my house with tape on for 3 days. I felt powerful like Superman. We're going to look over all your contracts, make sure you're not signing anything you're going to regret down the line. We're going to make sure if you ever get a tango with the IRS, you don't have to deal with that by yourself. I'm afraid of anything with 3 letters myself. Never deal with those entities by myself. IRS, CIA, FBI, MOM, right? Even if you get mad at me, I need some help, okay? So we're going to help you out in that scenario as well. If you get sued, we help you out with that as well. Lawsuits happen. Frivolous lawsuits happen. My favorite lawsuit, because there's so many weird ones out here, but I do have a favorite for all my comic book movie goers in the room. A young man asked a young lady to go see Guardians of the Galaxy on opening night. They went to see Guardians of the Galaxy, but through the whole movie, she was texting in on her phone. Ruined the entire experience for this young nerd of mine, a brethren, I would call him. He was so furious and so upset and felt so different because you can't get that opening night experience back. And Guardians was really good, right? He sued her for the price of the ticket for $12.50. And he won the lawsuit. So, this is a totally true story, I swear to God. You could be sued for anything. All it takes is for someone to be upset by something you did. And from the looks of everyone in this room, you have upset some people before. No offense, but let's just be real. We'll take care of you so you don't have to deal with that by yourself. Family, domestic issues, uncontested divorce, uncontested adoption, uncontested name change, uncontested separation and annulment is included in our program 90 days after you're enrolled. It is nothing. When you're going through that, it's already tough. You want to make sure it's done right, paperwork is done right. Is that a fair statement? Yeah. It's nothing like 6 months later thinking you're divorced. If you get a moving traffic violation, we help you out with that. You can literally just take a picture of that ticket on your app, and it will go into the law firm and you start to prepare your defense. This works nationwide. I have tried this all over the country on your behalf just to make sure that it's going smoothly. But let me tell you my first experience with this area of our service on a national level. This is my endearing story of your state of Utah. I was driving from Las Vegas from a convention back to Chicago and got pulled over in the middle of the night in Utah. 2 problems with this story. middle of the night. Utah. You know, that was going to work out for me, all right? But it was all right. It was a really nice cop. Let me digress and say this. It's never good when a cop pulls you over and say, where are you coming from? Vegas? Where you headed? Chicago? It sounds like a bad mob movie, you know what I mean? This could go anyway. He gave me the ticket, get back to Chicago. I sent the ticket to my law firm in Chicago. They sent it to my law firm in Utah. I know a couple people in Utah. I didn't know any lawyers in Utah. I had an entire law firm, a whole law firm, like not one, a whole law firm here in Utah. They went to court on my behalf 3 times, treated it like a capital case, and got the whole thing thrown out like it never happened. I guess I was in a mob movie, you know what I mean? I called my fixer, bada bing. And so that's a great area of our program, and it works for your entire family in case you do have someone in your household that drives with purpose. Let me say that. Family, we help you get your will done as well. Extremely important. We all understand. In my 15 years, I've never had to convince a responsible adult they needed to have their will done. Never, not in 15 years. We don't get them done because they could cost $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. They can be very expensive to get done. And it's not a convenient conversation to have. You're paying a lot of money to have a weird conversation, right? We make it very simple. You fill out a form, you can even start doing it on the app on your phone. You get your will taken care of right there. It's included in your membership, so it doesn't cost you a thing. That's pretty awesome. We have prepared you with all kind of other documents as well, which is incredible. 24-hour access in case of emergency. This is actually where the name of our company, LegalShield, came from. It was just a smaller portion of our program. We was talking about this yesterday, called the LegalShield. Right? And that became the entire name. That's how strong this area is. We're the only company, the only place you can go nationwide and 24-hour access in case of emergency. Now, I know we live in a time where there are entities and people who will attempt to convince us that we have more differences than we have similarities. I disagree with those ideas and concepts. I believe we have more alike than different. But there are differences of opinion, especially when it comes to social and different things that, you know, we're doing and how we want our country to run. One thing that I believe we all can agree on is that no one wants a person of authority overstepping their boundaries into our lives. Is that a fair statement? We don't want anyone overstepping and overusing that authority. And if that was to happen, you have 24-hour access with your lawyer to remind that individual that not only do you know your rights, you plan on defending your rights as well. You can get an officer of the court and attorney on the line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are never weakened by your lack of access. You are never weakened by your lack of access, and that is amazing. We even do contingency cases. If they qualify, you call the law firm, they'll talk to you about that, from auto accidents to malpractice, get hurt on the job, right? The kid won't clean the room, whatever you want to call the lawyers about, do it, just see what they say, and see if they can help you out in those situations, okay? 25% discount on anything I haven't mentioned. Complicated divorce, bankruptcy, child custody, DUI, possession, espionage. You slip up and rob a bank. You know what I mean? It's Saturday, accidents happen, I get it, right? Any of these things happen, now you still get access to an attorney and you get it on a 25% discount basis. Every now and again, somebody say, well, that's the trick. Why don't you cover? Those are the big things you need attorneys for. Those are the big things you would normally call an attorney for. I call attorneys for all kind of little things so they don't become big things. Because I have access that you may not have. But these situations, if we covered all these 100%, we wouldn't be able to be in business, number one, and we may attract the wrong people. Murder, cover. Come on, we would be in the presentation then, you know what I mean? We're not here to help bad people do worse things. We're here to help good people that get caught in bad situations, or good people that may make a mistake. Good people sometimes make mistakes and deserve to go right back to being good people. They deserve a good defense and good information in the process. Is that fair? Yeah. Right? And so we're excited about that as well. And then you get discounts on anything that you can imagine to make sure that your cost of your membership is already covered. And so when you think about your family budget, if the membership is about $1 a day, let's say it's less than $50 a month, but I could put $100 a month back in your household. You're going to net $50. Sounds like a win-win situation for me. So we have discounts on 500 different vendors. They vary, all type of areas. These are the top-notch vendors of any area. You're talking about Canon. If Canon still do stuff, I mean, they still have cameras. eBay, Amazon, Best Buy, Samsung, Rosetta Stone. You know what I mean? You name it. You get some flowers because you messed up. Take the kids to Disney World. You know what I mean? If you're going on a date, maybe you need Rosetta Stone. You know, maybe you traveled a little bit. Maybe you want to make dinner. You got Blue Apron. You name it. We got discounts in all those different areas for you. Who's covered by our membership? Members, spouse, significant other, or partner, any of the children living at home up to the age of 26, covered by the program. At 26, kick them out of your house. That's just my home. Advice for you. Never married children up to that. Never married children, once again, up to the age of 26, dependent, up to the age of 18. And if you have a child that's in college, they're covered while they're full-time students, right? And they're covered even when they're not in your home. So if you send a kid to Arizona State University, where I graduated from, right? Go Sun Devils, okay? You send them down there to go to school, trust me. We were the #1 party school when I was back there. I didn't hurt you. I like to think I helped with that distinction. But if you send your kids to ASU, you want them to have lawyers. So, sit them down. Which would you choose? $250 an hour, he don't even want to show his face by himself? Or an entire law firm of happy individuals that's here to help you out for you definitely can't beat that. Do I have to convince anybody here identity theft is a problem? I used to. 15 years ago when they put this in place, just a few months after I joined the company at all, in that Vegas convention where I got the ticket. That's when they put this in place. And back then I had people telling me that was just a scam. It was just fear-mongering. It was just trying to make us afraid. I'm like, no, they're getting your identity. You're being robbed. And you don't even know what's going on. No, it's not happening. These days, I say identity theft. Oh yeah. You don't even have to convince people. It's kind of like what happened with computer viruses. You don't have to convince anybody when they have a computer that viruses happen on computers have something in place. You don't even have to convince anybody of that anymore. So identity theft is a major, major issue, and it's not just money or credit. It is also people getting jobs in your name, using your medical identity. That's the fastest growing area of identity theft, medical identity theft. Driver's license, credit, committing crimes in your name. God forbid you get pulled over for assaulting a police officer in Massachusetts. You said, I've never even been, I can't even spell Massachusetts. Oh yeah, likely story, because I'm sure that's what all the criminals actually say. It wasn't me. And it's not like they have all their computer systems updated where they pull up a picture, right? So now, because of flukes, you may spend time in jail. Bottom line is, we want to make sure these different things don't happen to you because you're guilty to proven innocent when it comes to identity theft. We're going to monitor everything that's important, not what's convenient. So we're going to monitor online, driver's license, medical identity, email, social media. Some of us need help with the things we're posting on social media. Hey, so excited, leaving town for 2 weeks. Here's you're taking pictures with your address on it. You know what I mean? You're asking to get robbed, right? And so we try to make better decisions these days when it comes to that. Even helping you with your passwords. We do whatever it takes, however long it takes, to the tune of a $5 million guarantee. I didn't have $5 million set aside just in case somebody stole my identity before, but I do now because I signed up for this program. You get these 2 apps when you sign for the dual program, and when you sign, you get an actual extra bonus. As soon as you sign up for the dual program, you get a perfect manicure. You see that? It just happens. For a family, for an entire household, you're talking about $49.90. For an individual, you're talking about $34.90. Less than $50, less than $35, and you're covered for all the things that I mentioned. Use it as much as you want. Do you get the value out of your membership? That's up to you. It's up to you to call. It's up to you to use the program. It's up to you to get comfortable with having an attorney in the first place. Because that's one of the biggest challenges. We're not used to having attorneys. I've had people say, and I've actually felt this way, I didn't want to bother them for this. I got something going on. I didn't want to bother them. You spent the money. This is your program. Use your membership, and the more you use it, the more you fall in love. All right. money a little bit. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. Now, money is nice. Money isn't everything, but it ranks up there with oxygen. Right? Say money can't buy you happiness, but it could fund the research. So we're going to talk about money a little bit, all right? Word of mouth marketing and team building. I'm so excited. This is what allowed a poet, a starving artist, to be called an executive in $500 million. That's unheard of. That would have never happened. And a company that could take a poet, an artist, and train them and culture them and teach them how to do presentations, how to convey the information. These skills don't stop here in the Legal Shield room. They come with me everywhere I go. But I got them because of the Legal Shield culture and environment. So it's way more than money. It's way more than the income, but the income is nothing easy. So let's talk about all the benefits of being an associate with Legal Shield. Now, word of mouth companies out there, Facebook, right? They don't pay you anything. You get credits with Uber, Legal Shield, $60 to $280 every time you tell somebody about the program and how it works. When you first get started, you are an associate with Legal Shield. You go ahead and let people know, and you send a video. And they say, sign me up. This makes total sense. They sign up for the $49.90 membership. The company sends you $60. That's nice. Is it earth-shattering? Let's be honest. No. It's not. That $60 didn't pull you out of bankruptcy. Didn't change your life. But it was an extra $60. I believe in talking about things how they should be. I don't believe in exaggeration. $60. Oh my God, life has changed. Not yet. But it can be. It's as exciting as finding $2 in your pocket when you do laundry. How many of you ever been excited about that? Why did you get it? It's only $2. Why would you get excited about $2? Because it was two unexpected dollars. It was $2 you didn't count on because you work at your job and you know how hard it is just to make $1 there. You know what you got to go through. You know how you got to let people talk to you at your job. You know the sacrifices you make just to keep a job so you can have the opportunity to make just $2. So when you get $2 without all those attachments to it, that's a strong $2. So I want to give you that $2 times 30. We're going to give you $60 just when you sign somebody up. That lets you know the program is real. And when you sign up just 6 individuals with that membership, you're going to make that 6 times 60, $360. But now that we know that you're serious, because we don't know you, we just met you. Why would we pay you a whole lot of money up front? I don't know where this relationship is going. I'm just dating right now. Dive into marriage. It's weird, right? So now that I know that you're a little serious about us, we will double your commission to $120. Now, $120 could be really helpful. It could help you knock off some bills. Sell 5 memberships a month. That's extra $600 a month. That could change some things. That could take care of insurance, phone bill, maybe groceries, depending on how much your kids eat. Right? So now you're seeing weight being taken off your shoulders. And all you are doing is sharing 5 memberships a month. That's it, that's all. And it continues to go up until you're making $140, $160, $190, $230, $280 every time one person get a membership. Every time one person get a membership. 5 memberships at $280, that's $1,400 for helping 5 people with a program. I really want you to think about this. How many of you have started businesses before or considered starting a business? You come up with a concept, an idea, you got to drive it, you got to get marketing and promotion, who I'm going to talk to, and all these different aspects. We are getting paid as business owners according to the tax code, and that's really what matters. We're getting paid as business owners for an idea we didn't have and work you don't do. Making the connection is not the work. The work is when they actually call the law firm at 2 in the morning. That's the work. The law firm does the work. We connect the people to the people that do the work. So can you allow yourself to be paid to be a matchmaker and not over-exaggerate our role in this relationship? We're not working that hard. We're introducing people to people. And we're getting out of the way so those people could have their business lawyer-client relationship. It's pretty awesome. You can sell 5 memberships, or you can go out here and go crazy and sell 10, 50, 100 memberships a month. It's totally up to you. That's one way we get paid. That's how we make money. And this is how we make time. Money isn't enough. Money isn't enough to create happiness. How do I know? Because I've worked with young people that came from wealthy families. I went to Littleton, Colorado after the Columbine shootings. I worked there. I worked in Park City, Utah. I worked there. So I worked with kids from parents with multiple $100,000, $1 million incomes. And those kids were depressed too. And those kids were sad too. And those kids had anger issues too. And those kids had every issue that a kid may have in some of these other areas. Not because of the lack of money, but because of the lack of time their parents had to give them in the first place. Time poverty is a real thing. Is a real thing. So how do we get our time back? If you can make full-time money but put in part-time hours, and that's what got me in leadership. Yeah. I can make full-time money by putting in part-time hours. How? Because when I introduce people to this, many are going to get the membership, but some are going to say, I want to make some money too. And when they do, they become your business partners. And they're now a part of your team. You're a team together. You're not making money off people. You're making money with people. And because you're making money with people, every time they sell a membership, they're going to make the personal income column between $60 and $280, but you're going to make the team override column between $20 and $180. So let's say you make $20 for every membership they market. You meet me. I'm in Utah doing a poetry set. You meet me just out and about. You say, oh my God, your poetry was great. It was amazing. And you're so handsome. I mean, just say amazing. That's not important. Okay, stay focused. You say amazing. You share the program with me. I say, this sounds amazing. I know a ton of people in Arizona. You've never even been to Arizona. But I signed up on your website about a few days later after I take a look at information. Maybe you put one of your business partners on the phone with me to answer my questions since you're new and you aren't prepared to answer my questions. I get involved in a business with you. You don't know how influential I am in Arizona. I marketed to 10 people the first week. 10 people. Because I got bills to pay too, and this is a way for me to do that. I get paid 10 times whatever, but let's say on the low end, you got paid 10 times 20. You just got paid $200 for work you didn't do with people you never met in the states you've never been to. That's called leverage. Now, what do you do right after you get that $200, after you get done with your happy dance? Right? First thing you do after the happy dance is go find another meal. 3, 5, 8, 10. Let's say it takes you a year to find 10 of me. Yay. That was a good year. Now you have 10 people on your team that market 10 memberships apiece. That's 100 memberships in your organization times 20. Now it's $2,000 extra income on top of what you were selling yourself. Extra $2,000. Now you're getting your time back. That's on the low end. No way you could stay at this level with 100 memberships coming to your organization. It go all the way up to 180, but let's be in the middle at 90. You're looking at $9,000 income in your household because your team is marketing memberships and you're a professional cheerleader. You're keeping us encouraged. You're making sure we have the proper information and we're moving forward towards our goals, would allow you to hit your goals in the process. The more people you help, the better you do. Isn't that all time? So you can make a strong 6-figure income. We have people that have done it. We do it all the time, right? So it's really up to you. That may not be your goal. You may just want the extra $600 a month. Let's just do that. Whatever you need for your lifestyle, for the goals that you have, let us help you with your goals. Because the more people we help, the better we become as a company as well. And family, it's exciting. We even have bonuses that we add to all of this. So when you hit these positions in certain times, you even get extra money thrown on there. We go on trips all over the world. The Climbers just went to Iceland. I didn't even know that was a destination spot for people, right? But they went to Iceland. Can't wait to go. We were just talking about the Atlantis trip. We got memories together because of all the places we've gone and didn't pay a dime to go to the trip. One time they flew me first class. That's how I found out they still have silverware on planes. Did you know that? They still got knives on planes. what are we spending this money on? So another conversation, we'll talk about that at the beginning after the meeting, okay? Family, residual income. The upfront money is why I got in LegalShield. The residual is why I stayed. That's why I stayed. I gotta be honest. I started as a young man knowing I wouldn't be a young man forever. I started when I was 25. I had certain energy. When I started, I had no kids. 25 years old. A little beater car. Let's do it. Stay awake for days at a time. Let's run the ball. I just turned 40 this year. I got gray in my beard. A teenager, a 13-year-old, and a 9-year-old little girl. 13-year-old boy and a 9-year-old little girl. My energy's a little bit different than it was 15 years ago. My time crunch is a little bit different than it was 15 years ago. Just my interest to leave my house is how many of you ever just sat down and was like, this is nice. I think I'm going to stay right here. That's why you get a dandy chair, you know what I mean? To use it, right? So things are a little bit different. But I knew that day was coming. So I said, I want to get paid when I'm 40 like I'm 25. So I'm going to work hard when I'm 25 at something that's going to keep paying me when I'm 40. And I'm going to keep working at 30 as something that's going to keep paying me when I'm 60. And when I'm 65. And when I'm 70. And when I finally just want to relax and just go away. When I want to just buy a one-way plane ticket somewhere and hop around the planet. Because that day will come. And when that day comes, I still want money to hit my bank account from the work I did before I took that sabbatical. And that's what the residual income is. We get paid every month for work we did, every day for work we did in the past. That is a beautiful thing because all of us have been working. Think about your first job. Now count up how long you've been working. Now ask yourself, how many of those years are you still being paid for now that they're in the past? Or are you constantly, every year, only being paid for that year? If we could compound that income, why not do it? This is what I said to myself, I'm gonna work hard anyway. I might as well work hard on something that's gonna keep paying me. I might as well work hard on something that's gonna give me at least part ownership of the work that I do. That way I can work for myself and the generations to come, not just work for a company, because I have no interest in that. None at all. And that's our residual income. That's exciting to me. How much to get started? It's $99. You're welcome. That's a token. That's a token investment. That's a joke. We're going to spend that on sushi this weekend. You know what I mean? But the $99 just to show that you're serious, so we don't end up with a whole lot of wasted time. But it's $99 because we want everybody to be able to have a chance. I did not have $99. It was $149. I did not have it when I got started. So I paid $149 plus $34. Which was the overdraft fee at the bank I was at. True story, I'll never tell anybody this part. I'm going to tell you why I did it. Because I said to myself, I've gotten overdraft fees for a lot more stupid stuff. And if this thing does half of what that guy says, because I'm skeptical, right? Help me, skepticism. If it does half, it could get me out this job. I may never get rich, but it get me out this job. And I hadn't had a traditional job in 12 years. My kids don't remember me. This past year, I went and did some work for AIDS Foundation, HIV/AIDS organization, nonprofit. So I could learn the nonprofit world as I start my own nonprofit. To be able to go there and know that I'm going there to help and to learn and not for a paycheck. And I did it 6 months and was like, thank you. I needed that life experience to get back in the field. It's a different feeling. It really, really is. When you first get started, go ahead and get paid with that $60 per membership. Protect 3 families, but then you protect 3 families, but then bring 1 person to your sponsor so they could be recruited. Don't try to recruit people. You just got started. You market memberships, your sponsor will recruit people for you. Bring your person to your sponsor or to one of the experts in the room. Let them actually talk to them about the business intelligently and with history and background. They decide to get into business. You get promoted just off your first 3 people, which is great. And if you do it in your first 20 days, you get an extra $180 bonus. Extra $180. How many of you ever had the uncle with the pocket of money? How's those grades? You know what? Good job. I always call Uncle Mr. Stolzheimer for my rich uncle. Because he would just randomly find reasons to give us money. You sold some memberships this week? Hold on. And he'll just peel off some money for me. I'll be like, thanks, Uncle Stolzheimer. All right. How do you build this business family? We make it simple, okay? You don't have to do what I'm doing. We have videos. Do we still have DVDs? Who use DVDs? You can just beam somebody a video, put it right in their record scan, you know what I mean? But we have videos, we got apps, we got flip books, we got websites. You get your own website, which is nice. So we have all these different things and live events as well, so that they can meet the culture of legal. They can get the information through the videos, but it's at the live event they get the culture of leadership. You don't really know how somebody can make anything look like anything online, but it's not until they meet the people to say, hey, pretty stand-up people. Oh, they're pretty fun people. People come to live events after they got information to make sure we're not crazy. That's why they show up. How many of you have ever been the victim of a meeting before? You're like, oh my God, is that Kool-Aid? You know what I mean? It can get weird, man. It can get really weird. And so we do your first month of your website, we take care of that for you. But then after that, it's $19 a month to maintain that website. Professional website. You can't have a business without a website these days. And we give you that month to go ahead and get a profit mode, so all of it comes out of your business revenue, and it's a tax write-off as well. It gives you access to all type of competition and the trips and all the incentives and things of that nature as well, which is exciting. We have a proven track record. I've never been into convincing people. My grandmother told me a long time ago, Harold, never convince people to spend time with you. Never convince people to like you. Be who you are. And if they like you, they like you. Do your best. But you don't convince people to like you. I won't convince you to play with me. I'm not convince you to come and hang out. Our track record says it all. We have people in this room who haven't worked jobs longer than some of our kids been alive. Right? We have helped so many people become six-figure income earners and beyond, millionaires with this business. And once again, it's not about the money, it's about the stress that's been taken out of their lives. It's about the people they've been able to help, including their spiritual institutions, their community organizations. When tragedy has befallen our nation in different areas, I cannot tell you how many LegalShield associates made sure that the victims of Hurricane Katrina got food or got out of there, and was able to move faster than the government moved to help those people, right? The people that's helping everybody with the fires in California right now, helping out with everything that's going on in the South with the hurricanes over these last few months. Natural disasters keep happening more frequently. It's nothing like being in a position to help and not have to ask anybody if you can. To be able to take that time to just go and commit. It's really an amazing feeling. So we have the track record. The numbers don't lie as far as people who have succeeded with our program. But people get involved for different reasons. Some do it for money. Some do it for time freedom. Some do it to spend more time with their family. Some do it because they're around negative people. They want to get around some people that's going to encourage them. And that is a good reason to join LegalShield. I know a lot of people, they don't sell no memberships. They show up to everything. They're the smallest, happiest people because they just need to be around some positivity. And it's hard to find this level of diversity and positivity in other areas. It really is. So whatever your reason, let that be your reason. We have some testimonies that's going to come up, and they're going to share their reason for LegalShield. And it's going to be quick. They won't take a lot of time. Now I'm going to tell you my why and why I joined the company. Then you can decide if it's something you'd like to do as well. So I'd like to invite up our testimonies. Can we give them a round of applause, please?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Brian Ellison. My background is real estate and mortgage. And my reason, as Mr. Branch said, I made a lot of money in real estate. And one day I woke up and I realized that money kept on getting spent. And I was working really hard, making good money, but I didn't have that future long-term plan. The residual income is why I'm here. And then the personal development, the friendships, the family that I've made along the way is phenomenal as well. Thank you so much.
My name is Leanne Foster pastor, my background is that I was a stay-at-home mom, and I homeschooled my children. And when my youngest finished her high school studies, I wanted to stay productive. So I thought it would be really fun to go get a job. And I did. I found a part-time job, and it was really fun and super exciting for about 2 weeks. And it was around that time that I saw this information. I saw an incredible vehicle to help my husband and me dust off some of those skills that we had long since tucked away. And working in the business that first month, on average, about maybe an hour a day or so, made about $1,000. And that was way better than a part-time job. I'm Deanne DeBell, and I was always in the legal field before LegalShield, many years as a court reporter. So I saw people come into court, and because it's cost prohibitive to get an attorney to represent them, the ones that did not have representation never won. It was very rare. And so when my neighbor around the corner showed me the same thing you saw today, I knew that everyone in America needs this membership. They just don't know about it. So I was in. And I can tell you, on the compensation plan, the residual and the override income that we receive after 15 years, I am rock solid because it works.
Good morning, my name is Damian Schieber. I make my home in Boise, Idaho. And, when I first got started with LegalShield, I really just saw an incredible membership. I was in the mortgage business. I thought all my clients could use this membership. But 14 months later, I was able to walk away from a career in the mortgage business that I'd worked in for over a decade because of the income I was able to develop in LegalShield. And what that really means is I've been able to be a full-time, I used to say I was a full-time father. It's not really true. I'm a full-time husband. My wife is a full-time mother because every time the kids come to me, I'm like, I don't know, go ask your mother, right? But I can't tell you the feeling that you get when you're able to wake up when you're done sleeping, when you can play with your kids all day, when I can hang out with my best friend, my wife, as much as I want, whenever I want. And I never have to ask a boss for time off. I never have to ask, for anything. I just say, hey, what do I want to do today? And the reality is, just like Mr. Branch, I want to go help people most of the time. So thank you, sir. But, I've been fortunate to make 6 figures. We have people in this room that were fortunate enough to make 7 figures with our company over time. And one of them is this Miss Sally Gilbert right here. Sally, come on up here. Mike over to Miss Sally Gilbert.
Hi, my name is Sally Gilbert, and I've been in the business for quite a while, but I resisted for 10 months and told David no. It's hard to tell David no on most anything, but he drove me to the meeting. And you know what? I realized that the very thing that I have been resisting was actually the very thing I was searching for. And it was an opportunity to bless somebody's life. And I'll take the money. I don't hate money, but I don't love it. But I love people, and I love to share with people because I want to change somebody's life. I want to make a difference in this world. And so LegalShield has been such a great blessing. I could tell you so many stories, but you know what? The most important story is that I love you, and LegalShield can change your life as it's changed mine.
That's my mom, and I do love money. And I'm funding the research to find more. My background is I don't have a high school diploma, I don't have a GED, did manual labor jobs up until the age of 28 when I was introduced to LegalShield. We started very part-time, 5-10 hours a week, around a busy full-time job and a night job. And within a few months it was paying me more than my job, so I transitioned, went full-time with LegalShield. Second year we made a 6-figure income. They give you a beautiful ring that makes it look like you won the Super Bowl when you make a 6-figure income, but I still have this ring over here, which means I don't see the money that comes from this ring over here. And, today we, like Mr. Schieber said, we wake up when we're done sleeping, we decide what we want to do every single day, and we get to design our life around our kids and our hobbies and things that we love to do. And looking back at the job I left to go full-time with LegalShield, it would have taken me 55 years to earn $1 million staying at a job that gave me a pit in my stomach every single Sunday night, knowing I was going to have to be there on Monday morning. And here in LegalShield, from the comfort of our home, we did it in 7 years. I love this business.
You know, I'm into literature. I like when things are said well. And there's literature worldwide, things said very, very well. There's a lot of literature in the beginnings of our nation that was said very well. That was said, I believe, even beyond the intentions of the writers of some of that literature. They didn't have some of the things in mind that it was going to encompass later on, even some of the people that it was going to encompass. But I believe it was said well. And I always appreciate the reference to the right to the pursuit of happiness. And that being the right of everyone. But I also believe that we have been given so many distractions that the pursuit of happiness has been lost on the majority of people in our nation for different reasons. LegalShield means to me the first time I've been able to truly pursue happiness. And the beautiful thing about pursuing happiness is it's different for you than it is for me. For me, happiness was about being a full-time dad. I need to be a dad. Didn't grow up with my parents, so I wanted that experience, and I wanted to feed into my children. I've been able to do that. My son, Harold Gregory Branch IV, we affectionately call him Quattro. He's 13. My daughter, Ella Lene Branch, named after my mother. She's 9. And she is finishing up her 6th grade of school at the age of 9, which is kind of awesome. And my son took the ACTs when he was 9 and scored at 21. And when he was 12, took the SATs and scored at 1310 at 12. He'll be done with high school at the end of this in May at the age as soon as he turned 14. And be proud, he actually just finished college calculus with a B. So ASU does. ASU. So this is possible not because they're extra brilliant kids. They're not. They're weird. They're goofy. They're as crazy as any other kid I've ever worked with. But the difference is, I, as a parent, had the time to pay attention and to maneuver those footsteps from the beginning because of this program. I was there every day, day in, day out, even after the divorce as co-parents. We both parent them on a daily basis. I had to fly in late because I had to take them to school on Friday. I take them to school and I pick them up on a daily basis. And it's the extra money to put them in the programs that's necessary. And the extra time to work with them and notice the emotional fluctuations. Because many can't even notice when something is going on anymore. And by the time we figure it out, they're teenagers and they don't want to talk to us. And so to be able to be disengaged and disinvolved, that was my happiness. And that's my current happiness. It's all possible because of this program. And I get to do my poetry and not worry about how much it's going to pay me. And I get to be a weird artist. And most importantly, I get to be my authentic self. Ask yourself, are you being your authentic self and living the pursuit of happiness life? If not, let's figure out how LegalShield can help you do that. Not so you can be a great associate, but so you can be a great leader. So get with the person who invited you out. Let them know how you would like to rock and roll with this thing and how we can put a plan together that's custom fit for what you want out of this crazy thing called life, because we all trying to figure it out. Right? Let them know that. Get the person who invited you out. Let them know. This is LegalShield. My name is Harold Branch.